Okay, awesome. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice 2022, the Decatur Township Redistricting Forum. Your Voice 2022 is an information and engagement campaign to bring awareness to the Indianapolis-Marion County redistricting process. The goal of Your Voice 2022 is to hear from Indianapolis residents about their priorities for the mapping of future city-county council districts. This is the early stages of the process, and your voice here really matters. In these forums, we hope to engage communities to greater understand the communities of interest within each district to assist in the future map-making process. I hope you have taken the opportunity to review the information depicted in the space on the easels behind us. This information is depicting the current district makeup. Additionally, I hope you all have engaged with the activity and provided us with information to better understand your community here in Decatur Township. On your tables, we have provided you with some public input guidance, laying out some of the things we would like for you to share about your community. In the case you need a little help thinking about what you would like to share, this by no means is a strict guideline for public input, but we wanted to help people that may need a little assistance. Additionally, I would like to acknowledge the council members who are able to join the forum tonight. If you could just wave your hand and let everybody know who you are.
Josh B, District 20.
Thank you. We do now have a video I would like to play for you to talk about Your Voice 2022. Hello, I'm Macy Moore. In this video, I'll introduce you to Your Voice 2022, an information and engagement campaign to bring awareness to the Indianapolis-Marion County redistricting process for 2022. The goal of Your Voice campaign is to hear from Indianapolis residents like you about your wants, needs, and vision for mapping future city-county council districts. So you may be asking, what is redistricting and why does it matter? Redistricting is the process by which census data is used to redraw the lines and boundaries of electoral districts within a state. This process affects districts at all levels of government, from local school boards and city-county councils to state legislatures and United States House of Representatives. The way that district lines are drawn puts voters together in groups. Through elections, these groups decide who will represent them at local, state, and national levels. The way a district lines are drawn is important. Ultimately, it can change who controls a governing body, change what policies get passed into law, and how resources are allocated. So how is city government in Indianapolis structured? Just as the United States government has the president and Congress, Indianapolis has a mayor who serves as the chief executive and council that serves as a legislative branch. All other Indiana counties have county councils, and each city has its own local council. Indianapolis is unique in Indiana and, in fact, in much of the country because since 1969, the city and the county have been unified in many respects. We call it Unigov. There is a single legislative body for the city and county called the City-County Council. The county continues to have several other officials who are separately elected, such as the prosecutor, clerk, recorder, assessor, and the treasurer. The Indianapolis City-County Council initially had 29 members, 25 who were elected from geographic districts and 4 who were elected at large from across the county. The law changed a few years ago, and now we have 25 councilors who are each elected from separate geographic districts. How are council districts set, and do they change over time? The U.S. government conducts a census every 10 years. Once the numbers are in, a process is set in motion to review geographic districts from Congress to the state legislature to local councils around the state. State law requires those districts to be reviewed to account for the new population information. The census dictates how many seats in Congress each state will get, which is why states gain or lose seats in Congress every 10 years. State legislative leaders then work to ensure the state's congressional districts all have roughly the same number of residents to ensure equal representation. They also do the same for the districts of Indiana General Assembly, both the House and Senate. This process is called redistricting. Redistricting should accurately reflect population changes and meet statutory and other legal requirements. This process is used by lawmakers to equitably allocate representation in Congress, state legislatures, and county and municipal councils. Each state has its own process in drawing district maps. By statute, the City County Council must redistrict Marion County Council districts before the end of the second year after a federal decennial census. This means the City County Council must review the districts and make any changes in 2022. State statute requires the City County Council to pass an ordinance that divides Marion County into 25 districts that, 1, are compact, subject only to natural boundary lines, such as railroads, major highways, rivers, creeks, parks, and major industrial complexes. 2, contain as nearly as possible equal population, and 3, do not cross precinct boundary lines. Precincts are the smallest geographic units in legislative districting. Several precincts are grouped together to make up a council district. The precinct boundaries must also be reviewed. The county executive, in the case of Marion County, the mayor, is charged with the task of re-precincting in conjunction with the new census. This is underway and must be completed before council redistricting can begin. How will the City County Council determine the new district boundaries? The current City County Council leadership team has decided to solicit broad public input on the council redistricting process. Accordingly, all City County Council members and all residents of Marion County have the opportunity to provide input into the redistricting process. Engaging Solutions is a local consulting firm that will facilitate public engagement in the redistricting process, so all communities of interest will have an opportunity to be heard. A community of interest is a group of people from a particular geographic area who have similar social and economic interests. For example, some residents may want to share how important a community center is and why it would be valuable to have its service area and the community it serves be inside 1 or 2 districts instead of being split up among many districts. How will the public have an opportunity to provide input in the redistricting process? There will be 9 public forums where Marion County residents can have a voice in the redistricting process. Participants will be encouraged to share their perspective on the greatest strengths of their local community, along with their thoughts about what makes their neighborhoods unique and what their hopes are for its future. Each forum location, date, and time is listed on the Your Voice 2022 website. If you cannot participate in a public forum, you are encouraged to provide your comments in the designated space on the website. In March 2022, after all forums are complete, a report will be published on the public input process. Maps will be introduced to the City County Council for review and consideration in the spring of 2022. And a final redistricting ordinance will be submitted to the City County Council for a vote at the conclusion of the redistricting process. Please plan to participate in the forum. This is an opportunity for your voice to be heard in the Marion County redistricting process. We look forward to seeing you at one of the forums.
As we move to the public comment portion of this meeting, we would like to remind the public of a few ground rules in order for everyone to have a fair chance to speak and be heard. It is important that we each observe the following rules. First, each speaker will be limited to 2 minutes. Second, any public comment must reasonably relate to redistricting. Third, speakers who stray away from the subject under consideration or become repetitive may be asked to move on to their next point or conclude their comments. Finally, attendees who cause disruptions that prevent tonight's meeting from proceeding in a reasonably efficient manner will be removed. Please remember that some types of threatening speech or incitements of violence aren't protected under the First Amendment. We will deal with those issues if they come up, but we do not suspect that they will. Additionally, I would like to give you point your attention to the forms that we do have on your table. Some of the comments that we're asking for guidance include what makes your community strong, what makes your community unique, and things of that nature. But we do open the floor for public comment. Would anyone like to go first?
Yeah, we're happy to go. So I think I know most of everyone here, but I'm Josh Bain, the District 20 counselor. This isn't necessarily a forum for me to talk about what I think the district should look like. It's more of a listening session for myself just as much as it is for engaging solutions. The only thing that I'd like to point out is that, as a fifth generation resident of Decatur Township and as someone who's ran campaigns throughout the state of Indiana, there is not a community that identifies more with the township than the residents of Decatur Township. I think that's something to be very proud of. We're all very proud to be residents of Decatur Township. You go throughout Marion County and the rest of the city, very rarely does someone say, oh, I'm from Washington Township, or I live in Center Township. It's usually something like, I'm from Hallville, I'm from Southport. It's very unique down here, and I think that's something to be proud of, and something that I would note when it comes to a community of interest. With that, I'll just say it's an honor and privilege to serve y'all in District 20. If there's ever anything I can do, just let me know.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak?
Okay, care about introduction or what?
Just say your name.
Okay, my name's Pat Andrews. Lived around in Decatur for 30 some odd years now. I'm a process person, so I think the final outcome will be best served if the process is transparent and inclusive. I think that what we can benefit from most is to have a Citizens Redistricting Commission set up, and to allow the citizens to have a forum of an app or a website they can go to where they can draw their own district maps and submit that set for consideration. The state does a pretty damn good job of gerrymandering, and we can set an example here in Marion County by not doing that, by not considering where the incumbent lives, but considering where the people live. And I'm glad to hear about the communities of interest are important here and going forward. But it needs to be a transparent process, it needs to be inclusive, and the best way to do that is the Citizens Redistricting Commission. Decatur Township, as Josh said, does identify as Decatur Township, and probably because we don't have much of nothing. We have the school system, we have our own fire department, and everything relates to the township. We can use, there's a lot of things that Decatur needs. Luckily, we're not a food desert, but we don't have other forms of basic retail, for instance. And we need to hang together, and if we can have one district for the township, that would be optimal for our area. Again, please avoid gerrymandering, set an example for the rest of the state, and thanks for having a forum.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak?
Hi, Joe Elsner, Perry Township resident. I just wanted to point out a couple things. I think it's interesting that these are called Your Voice. I think it would be really helpful for consistency's sake and to actually get people's voice and feedback if there were maps for people to comment on. I know we heard about that all summer in terms of the state legislature, as was alluded to when they were redrawing maps. And as far as I know, the public still hasn't seen any maps and won't have an opportunity to comment on those, so that's pretty disappointing. In terms of feedback, I think it would also be helpful if constituents got an opportunity to, at these hearings or these forums, to speak directly to their counselors. Counselor Bain, I appreciate you showing up. It's really disappointing that nobody from the majority is here. And then last but not least, on the state level, there was mapping software made available for citizens to draw their maps and turn them in. And I think it would be really helpful if we had that opportunity for citizens actually to have their voice be heard and be part of the process. So I think those are my quick pieces of feedback.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Again, we do have comment cards on the table for you guys to provide some extra guidance in the case that you're looking for some talking points. So that could be, you can share with us what makes your community unique, share some advocacy concerns that you have, or what makes your neighborhood strong, as well as any personal testimonies or any other comment. Would anyone else like to speak or go second to a second time? All right. Well, we do have the back still open for you guys to engage with. I'm gonna give one more round of, does anybody want to go?
Hi, my name is Courtney, and I just want to add to what the gentleman just said. It would be great to have maps or examples of what we hope to see or would like to vote on. And I did put on the catch-all in the back. It'd be nice to see more of the counselors here, the representatives here, but if not, at least have like one of the poster boards up where we can see what areas they're representing. Because I admit, after the last meeting, I knew the name of my representative, but I didn't know his face, and so I had to Google it. So that would be something that's helpful. I just want to share a quote. Everybody here knows that this has been a long process, and just to give out some positivity on today, February 1st, which is the first day of Black History Month, a quote from Frederick Douglass that says, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress." So I bid us all forward. Thank you.
Okay. Would anyone else like a chance to speak? Going once? Twice? Seems like some people want to speak. No? Okay. Trying to peer pressure people, sorry. Thank you all for participating in the Your Voice 2022 Decatur Township Redistricting Forum. Our meeting scheduled for Wayne and Pike Township have been postponed due to the weather. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 7th, 2022 in Warren Township. Those meetings for Wayne and Pike will be scheduled for a week out, so that would be the 9th and the 10th of February. Similar to this meeting, we will have additional language services offered for the Warren Township meeting into Haitian Creole and Spanish. So we want to give a special thank you to Luna Translation for coming out tonight. For those of you unaware, this Decatur Township meeting was translated into Spanish to accommodate our Spanish-speaking immigrant communities here in Decatur Township. Again, thank you for participating in tonight's forum. If you, for any reason, did not provide public comment or think of something that you would like to give comment on, we do have a comment box available on the website, yourvoice2022.com. And at the bottom of the page, it is a comment box. Additionally, if you did not get to participate in the activity in the back of the room, we have time for that as well. And thank you again for coming out.